pages. So that will be up in the admin building at the same time. So this morning we're continuing with our Missions May month. We're having 5 weeks actually of that series. And today we've got Jeanette Baird coming up, and she's going to share with us about the amazing Heart and Hands ministry of Rivers.
Thank you so much. It's really good to be able to update you on what's happening with this ministry, and I know that a number of you know a lot about the ministry because you're highly involved in it. Others have probably heard that there is a ministry called Heart and Hands for the Poor and Powerless, and maybe you don't know too much about it. So today I'm really happy to be able to tell you what's happening at the moment. We're 12 years old. We've been going for a number of years now, and I've got to say that God has led it from the beginning. He opened up the door for this to happen. He is providing. He is showing us great things. And we often think of the feeding of the 5,000. When you give your little gift to God, the expansion that happens after that point is just amazing. So just God, in so many ways in the Bible, it's written about that we as Christians should be caring for the poor. And if you can read these couple of verses, the first one we know so well from Micah. He has showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? What does he require of us? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before him. There's nothing in God's love that is unjust. It's outside of his character. And so we need to, as people, be standing up for injustice in the world. And the poor are part of that injustice. There is plenty in the world for us to share with the poor, but it's not happening. And as Christians, we are called to do something about that in our community here, but also abroad. I want to share with you the 4 missions that we are supporting at the moment and what we've been able to do in the last little while. The Global Mission Partners is under the umbrella of the Churches of Christ, and the particular project that we have been involved with is in Arwale, the state of Arwale in South Sudan. There is a school there that is made up of just orphans from the Civil War, who've lost their parents, and they now live with foster families in a nearby village. We've been with the school since the beginning, and now there are over 400 people, children at least, in the school. It's a primary school, but there are a lot of teenagers who haven't had the opportunity of schooling, so they're in the primary school as well. And they're given an education, and they're given a hot meal every day. Up until now, we've been providing goats for the foster families. The good news is that now all of the foster families have 3 goats, which provides them with milk. It provides them perhaps with the ability to sell some of that milk at a market, and it also helps with the foster child or children that they have living with them. At the moment, when the goats had been given out and we couldn't do that anymore, it was suggested that we help with the needs of the school and the children. So books, uniforms, and the requirements that they need in the school. That's what we're supporting at the moment. Compassion Australia, and a lot of you support children through Compassion. There are now 2 million children being supported all over the world. We give to 3 funds and have been recently. There is a Where Most Needed fund, which sometimes is associated with a disaster that has happened in certain countries. And so we're able to help with relief, short-term relief in that way. And the other one that we have been vitally involved with is vulnerable children. Children who really desperately need help now. And many of those children are actually on the waiting list to become sponsored children. So it's things like education, healthcare, any needs that they have that will help them but also help their family. The next mission is Mission Without Borders. Now this operates in 6 of the Eastern European countries: Moldova, Albania, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Romania and the Ukraine. You don't hear very much about the areas of poverty in these countries, but it's dire. And particularly as we think of Ukraine at the moment, we've been able to do a bit of helping with those people. There are a number of different projects we've got behind. One is winter fuel, because with the sub-zero temperatures in those countries, people find it very hard to stay warm. So it's timber for their fires in their little houses. Soup kitchens we've been able to support. There is a fund that is Seeds of Hope, so it's giving families seeds so that they can grow their own vegetables, and that's a great help to families. Each Christmas, these field workers actually give out Christmas love hampers, so we've been able to help with that for the last 3 Christmases as well. And at the moment, we're providing some care packages for people in the Ukraine. And at the end of this month, we're going to have David Turner here with us. He's coming from Sydney to tell us more about the Mission Without Borders, and particularly the Ukraine's situation at the moment. And the last mission that we're supporting is Urban Neighbours of Hope. This is under the umbrella of Churches of Christ in Australia, but also the Baptist Church in New Zealand. And this is all about field workers going and living in suburban areas of dire poverty and living amongst the people and seeing what the needs are and providing help. And the major way we've helped this mission is by giving money to help start micro-enterprises for mainly women who are able to make things. Maybe they can have a food cart, or maybe making cards to sell or bags to sell, so that supports their family. So we've got a number of different avenues where we can help. So how do we do this? God has given to us provision of resources. Most of us are women who are older, who are now retired, who have a bit more time to use our skills. Some people have learnt skills and are using those, and we make things. And we take those things to markets and sell them. And the amazing thing is that people buy them. When we first started, we just didn't think anybody would buy anything that we made, but this has opened up, and God has used this as an avenue of gaining funds to send, and He has just amazed us. So I'm going to just show you a snippet of the things that we're involved with. Up until this year, we've had a monthly thread and yarn gathering of women. A number of women come together in a home and we make things. This year we're having 3 major workshops under the heading of thread and yarn. The thread, of course, is what we use. The yarn is lots of chatter that goes on with it. But it's just amazing what many hands can do and what we can make to sell. The next slide shows us that at Thread and Yarn we need to be working on things all year round for Christmas. So you can see there some of our ladies making labels that we put on our goods. I think the other 2 ladies, Janice and Carol, are making Christmas decorations, because we have to have all of that ready by September to put on our stalls. Here we are with some more ladies. Some are sewers, some cut, some glue, some are expert stuffers. Anything that needs to be done, these beautiful women who love and want to express their love for the poor will help out. And then every Wednesday we have a Wednesday workshop, and a smaller group of ladies who mostly sew come together and make things. And you can see Jill up there expertly posing in one of the aprons we've made. And there's another slide. I think if you can see that, that was just before Christmas last year, and we had Christmas stockings there for sale. And then we have another aspect of women in their own homes, in their own sweatshops, who work really hard on one or two different products that they specialise in. You can see Judy there working hard on microwave cosies, which we sell so many of. Joy in the middle, shopping for fabrics, because we like to make things that are of quality if we're going to sell them. And then I think we've got Julie Flood, who is there in her sewing room cutting out some amazing thing that she's going to make. Here we've got Barb Cornford crocheting her beautiful rugs, and Lynn, who literally makes hundreds of our hand towels. I think the highest she's done in a year is 350. So yes, we do have sweatshops happening. Glenda in the middle there has joined our cooking team, because when we go to Samford Market, we're able to sell baked goodies. So when those goods are ready, we take them to market, and we've learnt a lot about displaying and how to sell and what not to do, but we have a lot of fun doing it. And I'll just show you a few of the products that we make. The first one there shows some pencil pockets that go onto books. We make a number of different soft toys that are popular. Thank you. Two of our best sellers are pot holders, and there are Lynn's famous hand towels that we sell so many of. Some more soft toys. And the next one, Christmas decorations, embroidered goods, more soft toys. We have quilts. Those dolls there that you can see, if we just go back to the dolls, we sell those dolls to the children's, a shop in the foyer of the Children's Hospital in the city. And those little rag dolls go to some of the patients, which is sort of lovely to think that a little child will get a doll that also helps the poor, in the long run. It's great. The next one, yes, just a few more products. And the next one, these are cards, beautiful cards that are made by Helga Hatch. And it's just beautiful to see women who are very clever at what they do, very creative, using their gifts so that families in poverty can be blessed. And here we have preserves that we take to Samford Market, and the lemon butter in the front is made by Neva Handy, and it's become a bestseller as well. So the next slide just shows us how we set up at Samford. It's pretty heavy work because we're setting up gazebos and tables and whatnot, but God's given the strength. He's given us the protection and the safety over the years, and we'll keep going for as long as we can. Rain, hail or shine, we're there. The only element we've never known is snow. We've had our gazebos fly away. We've had hail, but we're there and we're a presence in the place. Our major stall is at Samford, but wherever God opens the doors, we will go. And God has blessed us over the years, meeting lots of wonderful people as we go. This verse I'll conclude with, which really speaks to my heart. How much love do we have in our hearts as Christians to really do something for the poor? Will the King say to us, I tell you the truth, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me? Will we as a church be able to think that Jesus can say that to us?